All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
The floor is yours, and it's level, by
Okay.
the way.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to ask how long you've been promoting Flat Earth.
Since about 2014, 2015, and
Okay.
Mark Sargent's clues are one of the first videos I watched.
Oh, okay. So he got you into it.
Um, that was one of like I refused to watch video. People said, Dave, you got to look into flat Earth, and I was like, nope, not going to do it. I'm open minded. I'd look into all the other conspiracies going on in the world, but flat Earth was one step too far. And then finally, my good friend and researcher, Sophia Smallstorm, she's like, Dave, you got to look into this. And she sent me Mark Sargent's clues and some other videos. And I said, all right, I'm going to watch these and just prove the Earth is a globe and just disprove flat Earth because it's so stupid. We all know it's a globe. And
Hmm.
for 2 weeks, I was like learning stuff that I'd never even considered before. And then once I saw it, there's no unseeing it. And then basically, it kind of took over my life where I had my own business, big business, and I walked away from it all. I walked away from it all to
Hmm.
talk to people like you and spread this important word. People say when they first learn about flat Earth, they're like, oh, flat Earth is stupid, and then they go, what difference does it make? And it makes all the difference in the world. All the stuff that's going on in the world right now is um is because people are lost, out of control, and don't know, it's spinning out of control in space and don't know who they are or where they are.
Hmm. Okay, can you just give me 1 second? I think they asked, I don't think they got the link. I'll just send it to them.
Okay, that is
Mm,
fine. And then where are
Um,
they on the spectrum of is the Earth a globe or flat?
I'm not sure. I think two of them were definitely, I don't think they'd heard much about it. The other one, she told me that um she watches flat Earth videos to sleep.
All
Like she
right.
thinks it's soothing.
Okay. We've heard that before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, a lot of people say they like to listen to Jaren and they fall asleep, and he takes it as I'm boring, so you fall asleep. But it's I like listening to flat Earth videos as they go to sleep. It's better than watching TV and getting programmed with nonsense.
I think because you're kind of learning something new, so it's interesting, but it's
Yes,
also soothing.
yes, yes.
Okay, so my next question would be, um, your app,
Mm,
when I think that was 20, was that 2018? I think I
2018.
looked it up
Hey, look at you.
when
Very
you
good.
made it.
Yeah, 2018.
Oh, I actually got it. I
Yeah,
got the app.
very good.
Um, so what was your goal and purpose for making the app?
Well, I actually made it because I would be talking to people about flat Earth, and I'm like, "Where's that video, the animation of the flat Earth?" And I'd be looking for stuff, and I couldn't find it, and I want to find a video, and I couldn't find it, and then I was like, you know what? This would really be good on an app. And this is the video I was actually looking for. I was trying to find something like this, and I couldn't find it. So I said, if I had an app that had all those little images and videos on it and all sorts of stuff, it'd be cool. And so I made it as a test flight app. I didn't even publish it. I just had it on my phone. So when I'd be talking to somebody about flat Earth, I go, no, look like this. I'd show them this. I'd show them different things. I'd show them how the app works. How the sun goes around every it goes around once a day, wherever the sun is, it's noon, and it laps the moon every 28 days. And everybody goes, where do I get that app? And I was like, well, and I published it. I said, here, it's free. Right. And so then it started going viral. A lot of people started downloading it. It just started spreading and spreading. And two things happened. One, everyone's like, hey, Dave, could you add this? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Could you add this feature? And I started adding more and more features, and they started costing me thousands and thousands of dollars. I said, well, I can't keep doing this. I said, you know what? I'm going to charge $3 for the app for two reasons. One, it's because all of the anti-flat Earth trolls were just going on and downloading the app and rating it 1 star. This is stupid. Flat Earth is stupid. Dave's stupid. And and I said, okay, if I charge $3, they're going to have to pay $3 to give me a bad rating, and they're too cheap that they won't do that. And then also that money funded the app, and I started adding all sorts of stuff like the featured video of the day, which is right here. because after 2017, 2018, right there, the YouTube started just hiding all the flat Earth stuff. And so I
Mm-hmm.
added, I beat their algorithm. Like if you want to find anything, just use the video search and it comes right up. Like if you tried to find my interview on InfoWars, for example, right? On YouTube, searching for it, you're going to be searching all day. You're searching all day. But if I just go on my app and type in InfoWars, search, and it's going to find all of the videos. And here's the one of me on InfoWars. So I found a way to bypass their algorithm. And and then people are like, well, hey Dave, can you explain how seasons work? Well, I got tired of explaining to people, so I made a frequently asked questions page, and here are all of the things, and then you just click seasons and upcom videos that are all hidden from you on YouTube. Like you can search for these videos, unless you search the exact name of the video, you're not going to find the video, right? If you said, Dave, how does seasons work on a flat Earth? And I sent you one video, a link to one video, you'd play that video, and then the next one that YouTube would push in your face would be an anti-flat Earth video. So
Okay.
they're doing everything they can to hide it. So my motivation was one, have an effective tool to wake people up, and then two, um, have an effective tool for everyone to wake other people up. And so it really is the best tool out there. There's a book. Eric Dubay wrote this book. This book, Flat Earth Frequently Asked Questions, is fantastic. But how often are you walking around with this book in your hand, right? And how quickly can you pull up something in it, and then unless you rip the page out and give it to the person, you're not gonna, it's not as efficient. Everybody has their phone in their hand, right? Everyone has a
Mm-hmm.
phone, and you can email and send, and text and airdrop and do all sorts of things. So I even have images in here. And someone says, what about the moon, the rover on the moon? So I just type in rover, and you can pull up funny pictures like this. This cost $38 million in 1960s and 70s, and this costs $37 million today with inflation factored in. Okay, something's wrong. Something's wrong. But all of this stuff is at your fingertips, and it's great. And another thing that people said is, Dave, I'm a flat earther. You woke me up. I live out here in XYZ, whatever, and my family thinks I'm crazy, and my friends think I'm crazy. And so that's why I created the friend finder on there. So this will show you all of the other people around you, and you can go in there and
Mm-hmm.
you can click on a profile on a person, and then look up their profile, and then you can message with them. You can do video calls. You can do amazing stuff. You can join groups. The groups are amazing. Like if you go in, there's all sorts of groups. So here's a group. This one's called Austin Witsit Gravy, and it's all people talking about lots of stuff, but more about what Austin's been doing. And so you have these groups, and people not only have become best friends, people have gotten married and had babies because of this, right? Because if you think about it,
Really?
every dot on here, every dot has more in common with you as a flat earther than any dating site, any job site, anything, right? These are all the people right here in America that are on the friend finder. And I'd say this represents, well, less than 1% of the flat earthers out there, right? Not everyone knows about my app. So
Mm-hmm.
when they say flat earth is dying, look at this. There's people everywhere. There's people everywhere, and that's just not just the UK. I mean, that's just the United States, the UK. Speaking of the UK, I'm going to be. You're in Australia, right?
No,
Where are you?
Melbourne.
Oh, so you're in Australia. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to be in June, my first time, well, second time to the UK. I actually windsurfed there once. But I am speaking at the Sounds Beautiful Music Festival, Music and Truth Festival, 4 days camping, glamping. It's going to be amazing.
Mhm.
Soundsbeautiful.uk. Anybody that's interested, it's going to be a great time. Music, truth, freedom, and health and mental stability. Amazing festival. All right.
Great.
My
Are you coming to
transparent.
Australia anytime soon?
Not yet. You know, somebody was talking about inviting me there. I'm a little transparent. That's pretty weird. All right. So I'm back.
Okay.
So did I answer your
Um,
question? I kind of went off a little bit, but
yeah, no, you did. You did. So
I
your main purpose was initially to inform people, and then because people wanted more features and you added more, and then it turned into like a social media thing as well, where people are meeting people and kind of uniting the community.
yeah, it does. I mean, it has tons of stuff. I have a homeschooling section with all sorts of more in-depth stuff there. I have the frequently asked questions I showed you. There's different languages for people that speak different languages. We have the playlists in different languages, and
Oh,
yeah. So
okay.
and there's so much on here. It's unbelievable. And I've just added people that are on the app all the time and know all the stuff. They're like, what's new? I have a featured content provider, featured channels, and they're not there. Some of them are on X, some of them are on TikTok, some of them are on multiple channels, but these are outstanding channels. And I'm just adding this. It's not even on the app. It's going to come out hopefully next week, maybe the following week. We're just running into lots of little development issues, but as soon as they're done, that'll be on the app. So there you go. Enough about the app. And the app can be found at
Okay.
flatearthdave.com. Anybody that's listening, flatearthdave.com. That's where all my links are, all my social media, ways to book me, crash course. If you don't want to get the app, that's fine. Just take the crash course. It's on the middle of my website. And I'm coming out with a Mac version very soon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So apart from your app, what other social media platforms do you think are currently really relevant for the Flat Earth movement?
Well, TikTok, some people hate it just because they can't handle the shortness of it. But TikTok is blowing up, and the censorship on TikTok is much less. YouTube is, if you search Flat Earth, my name, my channel name, it'll just come up with completely irrelevant videos that are anti-Flat Earth, right? Yeah, I was looking
Hmm.
for a video that had nothing to do with Flat Earth that's on my channel, and as long as I type my channel name in there, nonsense propaganda videos come up as a result, right? And they want to feed you this other stuff, so you just get tired, and you're like, "Oh, the flat Earth is stupid," and you never look at it again, because as I always say, this is the most important topic of our time, and we can get into
Hmm.
that a little later if you want. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Oh, so TikTok. What about Twitter? Because I noticed
Oh,
that there are quite a few accounts with
oh,
a pretty big following, and I found this one that's Japanese. I don't know
okay.
if Mark mentioned it to you, but apparently there's a video, like if you scroll down, there's a green screen video and that's your wife in it.
Oh yeah, see that one went viral. So we were doing something on Globebusters, right? This is a green screen behind me. And
Mhm.
and I we did this thing where I was in a green suit and I'm making things float around her, right? Because you can't see me because I'm in a green suit, and she's pushing them around. And so we went on Globebusters, which is a Sunday show every Sunday that's live, and everyone knew we're just joking around, and they're interviewing
Mhm.
Paige, my wife, as you know like she's on the ISS, and it's so corny what we were doing. But then some unskilled researchers, some flat earthers, that just like, oh my god, because she looks a little bit like what's the I'm spacing now, Karen Nyberg, another astronaut, and they thought that
Oh.
because I exposed how we were doing it, and they're like, Catherine Nyberg exposed, and it went viral. It went everywhere, and all these channels mirrored it. What is going on there? All these channels mirrored it, and I got called by factchecker.org, by all these different fact checking companies, and I'm like, I explained what it was, and it was great because they listed my website, they listed everything, and it was great publicity for Flat Earth. So it was kind of fun. But yes, Twitter is good. I'm just not very good at Twitter yet, at finding all the stuff on there. There's huge Flat Earth debates that just pop up all the time on Twitter, and there's one called it starts late night Friday night here US time, right? And then it goes well into the next day. And it's called Flat Earth Fridays. And last week I listened to it for the first time, right? I was listening to it while I went to sleep. And then I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on here. This is a topic that I can chime in. We're talking about the horizon. And I was on for 10 hours. 10 hours. It was crazy. It was crazy. I've never done that before. So there you go.
Mm.
So Twitter, TikTok, and then other platforms like Rumble and BitChute and Brighteon, they're good. The problem is most of the people over on those alternative channels are already awake to most things. It's all of the newbies, all of the people that are, that are lost in the matrix that are on YouTube. Like I can go outside and go to a random person, hey, where do you upload where's the best place to watch videos on YouTube? I mean on the internet. They'll be like, "Well, YouTube." And I'm like, can you name three other alternative sites to YouTube? No, they can't. They've never heard of any of them. So that's
Mm.
why I like staying on YouTube because that's where I want to talk to the people that think flat earth is stupid or don't even know it's a thing.
Can you talk a bit about the YouTube censorship?
Oh,
Because
it's unbelievable.
Mark
Good.
Mark was just telling me how between 2015 and 2018 they were shamelessly promoting flat earth videos, and then they had a Senate hearing and decided to stop, and
Yeah.
then they
At,
decreased the recommendations by 70%, and
at the
now they have that banner as well.
yeah, at the Senate hearing for false information, this is just news propaganda. Don't watch the news, it gives you cancer, by the way. So they used flat earth as the example of fake news, right?
Hmm.
That was their actual example, which was, I think it's all done on purpose. It's all a poke in the eye. And we're watching, it used to be when you search something, it says, oh, 380,000 results. You search whatever it is, and flat Earth was climbing and climbing and climbing. And then 2017, I think I think the top two searches were Donald Trump and some pop star, Britney Spears or whatever. And flat Earth took over. Flat Earth became the number one searched term. And guess what they did? Did Mark tell you?
Yeah,
They
they removed
they
the
removed the
results.
scoreboard, and it's still gone to this very day. They removed it because they don't want people knowing that that's a trending thing. And now the Glober's favorite thing to do is, oh, flat Earth is dying. I could assure you, flat Earth is not dying. I can see how many people are signing up for the app every day. I can see how long people stay. Everyone that becomes a flat earther never goes back. Now that sounds a little cultish, but it's not. It's truthish because when you find the truth and it affects your life on every level, then you can't let it go. This is the most polarizing and the most followed or, unvarying interest. Like when you become a flat earther, there is not a day in your life where you're not thinking about it. There's not a day in your life, right? And that takes care of boredom. Sometimes it's like, all right, I gotta leave for the train in 20 minutes. I'll just flip through the TV, stare at the wall, that's people just don't. Now it's just like, oh, I got 20 minutes. I could learn something new, right? And you can just find, research more information. So it's a liberating, freeing topic.
Mm. Oh, just because you mentioned that you know how many people are signing up to your app and stats like that. I was just wondering, are you able to like give them to us or
Oh,
like
well, I can tell you this on the friend finder. So if you download the app, that's one thing. But if you register on the friend finder, which doesn't cost any extra,
Mhm,
there's
mhm,
133,800 or whatever the number says.
mhm,
133,000. Of course, 133. People are going to shoot me for that. Um,
mhm.
and there's already every day I have push notifications go out. They go out to about 190,000 people. So there's 190,000 people on the app that accept push notifications. Then there's people that don't accept push notifications, and I don't have that number on top of my head. So I'm
Oh,
thinking it's closer to, 400,000 people on the app.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But do you
Soon to be
have,
soon to be 400
do you
million. Go ahead.
would you have those stats if you looked them up?
I could. I just never do. People like, how many subscribers do you have? The answer is I don't know because that's not my goal. My goal is just to do what I do, wake people up, and however many I have is however many I have. So yeah, I can look up some numbers for you. I can tell you how many people have signed up for the app. For you're making a paper, right?
Yes, we're doing a multimedia article,
Right.
and I feel like one of the elements could be like charting the growth of your app. I feel like that would be
Well,
interesting.
it's a great, if it was a stock chart, it would be a great stock chart. Up and to the
Yeah.
right, it's up and to the right all the time.
Okay.
It's good. And we're gonna hit a parabolic spot soon because literally, there's no think about this. Think about the what's my target market? What's my target market?
People who aren't flat earthers?
Well, no, people that are it's everyone. It's everyone that has a smartphone, right? Because if
Oh,
you're a
true.
flat earther, you want the app. And if you're not a flat earther and I wake you up, you want the app. There's no
Mm-hmm.
barrier to entry. It's $3. A homeless person can afford it, right? I have this subscription for some of the higher functions. About 5% of the app requires a subscription. It's $11 a year, not a month, not $1,100, nothing like that. It's $11 a year. So that's another non-issue. And I also make it so people can get the subscription for free just by recommending the app, right? But
Mm-hmm.
every single human on earth with an internet connection is my target market. And the interest level, as I was saying before, everyone, whether they know it or not, is super interested in this topic because it affects their life. And the growth potential of this is insane. Hedge funds should be coming at me and trying to buy this up, but I'm not for sale, no matter how much money you have. It's not for sale. I'm here to wake up the world to the point where so many people know when you wake up to flat earth, you unplug from the matrix, you stop feeding the system, you start realizing that government isn't above you, that you're above government, right? God, man, government. Government's trying to get on top of God. And once you understand, that you're free and nobody really has control over you, you stop giving them your energy. And once everybody wakes up to flat earth, the entire government, the entire system is going to fall apart.
Okay. Uh, can you also talk a bit about you mentioned trolls before. So do you think the trolls are also, I guess, helping the movement? Because if they post things, then more people are going to be aware of this topic and yeah, I guess
Yeah. If you
more
if you
interested.
go if you search my name, my channel name, one of the first videos to come up with a debate that I went into naively with a guy who calls himself Professor Dave. He should, if he was
Mhm.
honest, call himself failed musician dropout Dave. But he was just such a disgusting, nasty idiot on the thing and just like talking like making fun of me and calling me names. If a weak-minded person watched that, they'll be like, "Oh man, flat Earth is so stupid." But anybody with any critical sense that watches it will realize that it's completely ridiculous. On the app right here in the more resources page, I have a section called debunking the debunkers, and all of the people out there that are claiming the Earth is not flat, that it's a globe. We've debunked all of their shows and everything. And on there's a guy called Mindshock who he doesn't pick a side. He just logically analyzes debates for logical fallacies and ad hominems. And he keeps score, and it's kind of funny. And phony Professor Dave got the world record for the amount of fallacies that he did and ad homs. And the good thing about it, as you said, is um, lots of um where'd you go? I just knocked you out of my thing. All right. Lots of people. I got lots of emails from people that are like, hey Dave, I'm not a flat earther. The earth is definitely a globe, but I watched your debate with Professor Dave. How come he acted like that? Well, now I'm in direct communication with them. So now I'll send them my playlist from down here. I have a playlist called full length videos. I'll just say, here, watch the first three videos in this. It's a playlist of like 50 videos, right? Couple days later, they email me back. They're like, oh my God, this is real. And I never would have gotten to them before if it wasn't for this trolls. So, and also some of the
Mm.
trolls, when they come after me for things, since they're wrong and the earth is a globe, their claims are actually funny. And so when they come after me for something, I make some of my best videos. Some of my best videos are inspired by the trolls. So, you know, you can't have good without evil, you can't happy without sad, whatever. I don't like that, but it's the truth. And and they've inspired some of the greatest stuff. The world is waking up. They're gonna claim, well, look at YouTube, the searches for flat earth have dropped through the floor. Yeah, because they're hiding it. Everyone's looking. It's amazing. TikTok is exploded with flat earth stuff, right? A lot of my featured videos are just compilations of TikToks put on YouTube because lots of people won't go to TikTok because of whatever bias they have. So we get the best clips, put them together. And yes, people do have short attention spans already. So sometimes a bunch of short clips put together is the best, right? Like if you hate a topic, you're just not interested in motorcycle repair. And I was like, hey, Helen, there's this great 3 hour movie about motorcycle repair. You want to go? Well, you want to go? Right? You'd be like, what? 3 hour movie on motorcycle repair? That's crazy. And then so you're not going to go. But then I said, well, you know what? Here's a 3 minute video on motorcycle repair. You're like, all right, I'll watch that. And then you watch it and you're like, hey, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. Right? Motorcycle repair might not be the best example, but this is the foundation of the world that you live on, right? The everything that is wrapped around your world. When you were a little baby, right? Before you had discernment, basically any kid under 7 has very little discernment. He's learning discernment through experience. And they indoctrinate you in school. As soon as you go to school, you get something like this. This is the flat earth, this is the globe earth, right? They teach you about the orbits of the planets and the sun and the moon, right? One of the first worksheets that you did in kindergarten or first grade was the path of the moon and the sun and the earth. Do you recall it? I remember it. And I've seen kids, yeah, they still get them now. Go talk to like a first grader, and that's all they're learning. They have globes in their classrooms. It's crazy, the amount of stuff, the amount of propaganda that they feed them, and it's everywhere, right? Sesame Street has astronauts on there, right? But they always put little kernels of truth. So they're teaching kids about the library, and this is the fiction section. Fake, globe, and rocket. Do you think that's an accident? Now, people say, well, why would they do that? Why would they stick it in your face like that? And the answer I have is there's two answers. One, they're just laughing at us, how stupid we are. Or two, they feel like if they tell us the truth, they don't have karma. They don't have bad karma. Like if they tell us the truth, then it's our fault for not paying attention. Look, and that was on TikTok too.
Mhm.
Right? They put it everywhere. Here's Homer Simpson going in to the doctor, scams, globe, and wanted, the devil. Right? If you look into the NASA programs, all of the mission names and ships, they're all named after demons and gods and just really weird stuff. Right? Do you know about CERN, the particle collider? Right? CERN,
Mhm.
the big particle collider. Well, they're firing it up, and it takes like weeks to get it fired up. And they're firing it up. And guess when it's supposed to collide? Guess when they're supposed to have the big collision? April 8th. That's the
What's
solar eclipse. That's the big solar eclipse that's happening. Okay.
okay.
So what is going on there? Right. So I'm kind of going all over the place. Where you want to go? Next question.
Oh, okay. So you mentioned that people waking up. When I was doing research, there was talk of this that we're in this post-truth era where anti-government and anti-expert sentiments are at an all-time high. So do you think that that's because more people are waking up to, or like they're believing in conspiracies? Or do you think that, I don't know, because experts aren't so trustworthy anymore, that's pushing people towards conspiracies?
Do you
Which
do you believe in conspiracies?
um it depends.
Do you know what the definition of a conspiracy is? When two or more people get together and plan for their own benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a family?
Oh,
You have a mother, you have
yeah.
brothers and sisters?
Uh-huh.
Do you think they've ever gotten together and planned something for their own benefit? That's a
Sure.
conspiracy. That's a conspiracy in your own home. Now, do you think that politicians get to their points of high power by being honest or being complete and total depraved demons? Right?
Mm,
Right? And
probably the
it's worse
latter.
than you can even imagine. When you start getting into this, you start realizing stuff. I mean, the amount of stuff like from the politicians to the music industry to anybody that has fame or power, they are compromised in ways that we don't even want to bring into our brain because it's so bad. So when you ask if politicians are less trustworthy, I think the devil's less trustworthy. Okay. I mean, I think they're the devil's more trustworthy, is what I'm saying. They're so corrupt. It's unbelievable. But here's the thing, because of what happened in 2020 with the COVIDs, people have a lot of time. They're working from home. They start looking into things. And here's the thing, flat earthers aren't flat earthers because we want to be right. We're flat earthers because we've done the work, right? The people that defend the globe, they don't even know their own model, right? So you've been looking into this for a while, but I'm going to ask you some questions about the globe. You believe we live on a globe? You could say yes, it's okay. I won't look down upon you too much, maybe a little
I
bit.
am I am undecided.
You're undecided, but
I'm undecided.
but you have friends that are fully globe, Earth's a globe. So you
Yeah.
ask them, what's the radius of the Earth? They don't know. Circumference, they don't know. How fast is it orbiting the sun? They don't know. How far is the sun? They don't know. How wide is the sun? They don't know. How far is the closest star? Do they know about the first law of thermodynamics? High pressure next to low pressure needs a container, right? They don't know any of that, but they still defend the globe. So they're defending the globe. They can't come up with a single proof. That's a cult. That's a religion. And you know, if a globe believer knew a tenth about the heliocentric model, a tenth of what flat earthers know, they would be a flat earther because the heliocentric model is ridiculous, right? This is what they think is going on. The earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. A glober will go, well, that's only once per day. You know, if you look at the hour hand on a clock, you can't see it move, and it's moving twice as fast as because it goes around twice in a day, right? In 24 hours, right? But that's angular speed. We're talking about linear speed. If you were on a merry-go-round and it spun around once per day, that'd be pretty boring, right? You'd barely be able to. I don't even know if you can tell it was moving. It would be going so slow, right? If you're on a merry-go-round, sitting on the outside horse, you know what a merry-go-round is?
Hmm.
A carousel.
Yes.
You're on the outside horse, and
Yes,
it
I do.
only makes one revolution per day, 24 hours. That would be really slow. Boring? Give me a yes. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if we expanded that merry-go-round to 24 miles in circumference, now it's moving at a mile per hour, a slow walk. Okay, you can sense that you're moving, but it's got to go around once per day to get you back to where you were before, 24 miles, 24 hours, 1 mile per hour. You with me?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay. Now we put it out to 24,000 miles around the circumference of the earth. It's now going 1,000 miles an hour. You're on that horse. It's moving 1,000 miles an hour to make it around once per day. And it's not going straight. It's curving to the right or to the left, depending which way you're going, at 60 miles an hour. So imagine being in a car going 1,000 miles an hour and it's taking a right-hand turn at 60 miles an hour to the side. Do you think you
Hmm.
would feel that?
Probably.
Of course you would. Of course you would, right? So that's just the spin of the earth. We're orbiting in an elliptical orbit, speeding up and slowing down, averaging 66,000 miles an hour around the sun. We're chasing the sun at a 500,000 miles per hour. Okay? Don't feel
Mm-hmm.
any of it. Here's another thing. In our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, they say that 80% of the stars are binary. You know what that means? That means that they orbit around each other while they're orbiting around. So they're in these binary orbits. And do you think that, you know what parallax is? When you change positions, things change positions when you move, right? Things in the
Mm-hmm.
distance move slower than things in the foreground. Never once in history has any star crossed the path of another star due to parallax. We're traveling 4.5 billion miles a year. All the stars are traveling in all of their own unique positions, like a beehive that you just threw a rock into. And none of the stars ever cross each other. Is that a
That's
possibility? That's not a possibility. That's an impossibility.
okay.
That is completely and totally impossible. I call it impossible, right? Do you believe in extraterrestrials?
I don't know.
Well, I'd like to.
I
I
don't.
mean, I would like to believe in extraterrestrials, right?
Mm.
But what if the world was set up like this? What if? This is a what if. What if the world was set up like this? Here we live. Here's the shoreline of our world. We're not allowed to explore beyond here. And there's other continents out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Extra land, that would be extra territory. If somebody lived on the extra territory, what might you call them?
Extraterrestrials?
The extra terra, the extra land. And if they were out here and they came to the inner area, we would say they're from the outer space.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is just tens of thousands of miles and not incomprehensible, scientifically impossible light years in a space vacuum, right? The
Mm-hmm.
closest star to Earth is 25 trillion miles away. That's what they tell us. But when we zoom in on it with a camera and focus it, we can move that camera to another star, to a planet, to the moon, and they're all in focus. Like they're all the same distance. Kind of weird, right?
I just noticed that says, was this world map made 10 centuries ago? So
Yeah.
was this around 100 years ago?
Yeah. So this was well 10 centuries ago. It's 1,000 years ago. It was
Oh,
found in a
10,000.
Buddhist temple. It was published in 1910 in a Florida magazine, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there's now here's the thing. We don't need to speculate what's beyond where we're not allowed to go, which is 60 degrees south or farther, um, to prove the earth is flat. We can do that all day, by doing measurements, by looking at stuff. But there's a lot of evidence that there is stuff beyond Antarctica. But before we go there, let's look at this, right? So if we lived on a ball, there's a required amount of curvature over a certain distance, whatever that is. And if the ball is the size that they tell us, a 6 foot tall person standing at the edge of perfectly calm water should not be able to see the surface of the water beyond 3 miles, because there's a 6 foot drop at 3 miles. It drops 6 feet, according to globe math. So and now if there's little waves on the water, that's going to bring your apparent horizon even closer. And if you sit down, it's going to bring it even closer. But 3 miles, do you ever think you've seen the surface of the water beyond 3 miles? I have. I zoomed in on a buoy 10 miles away. There should have been 66 feet of curvature. And I could see the buoy and I could see the water surface beyond the buoy. So here's an elevated spot. Now, when you're using when you're using curvature calculator, you have to calculate in your height, because the higher you are on a ball, the farther you can see. Well, the same is true on a flat Earth, right? But we can see these mountains here. Where'd they go? So we can see 8 mountains. They're all here. They're all lining up. They're all in their proper positions. They all have their proper shapes. They're all actually these mountains. And the tops of these mountains, the tops, should be over 40 miles below a physical curve. 40 miles below a physical curve. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah. As
Well,
in, no, I understand what you're talking about.
yeah, but if they were 40 miles How can we see them? And mainstream will not address this photo or many other photos like it, right? And people are like,
Mm.
well, I can't see something, therefore the earth is curved. Here's a shot from Aluja, France. Out here is Canigou Mountain, 175 miles away, and you can't see it. The reason you can't see it is because the light that's bouncing off of Mount Canigou from the sun has to travel 175 miles through the thickest part of the atmosphere, and it just can't do it. It's like trying to look across an Olympic-sized swimming pool underwater. You can't do it because it becomes opaque. But twice a year, when the sun's migrating in between the tropics, it lines up with the viewing spot and Mount Canigou. And when we just go forward, it backlights the mountain. And when it backlights the mountain, you can see it because the sun's direct light is strong enough. Top of this mountain should be over half a mile below the curve. It's right there. 1 million people have taken
Mm.
pictures of it. It only happens twice a year, 2 times a year for like 1 or 2 days.
Okay. Okay, can
All right.
we go
Yeah.
back to social media a little bit? Like this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
interesting and all, but
All right.
because the focus of our was on social media.
All
So
right. No problem.
um
Sorry. I didn't realize that.
no, it's okay. Um okay. So you were showing me those photos. And how long have people been able to take photos like that? Is it only
Forever.
a recent? Oh, really?
Forever. So people there's a website called, I think it's called Google Pan or Google Pics, something like that, and it's high res long distance photography, and people just don't realize what they're doing. They're taking pictures of things that should be behind a physical curve, but they just don't realize it because we're told that the Earth is so big that we can't see the curvature, but they want us to believe we can see boats go over the horizon. So yeah, there's other
Mhm.
sites like that all the time. People don't realize using globe math that many of the things that we observe with our naked eye are impossible. So they throw refraction in there and they make up a bunch of stuff. But the default
Mhm.
position is the Earth is flat. It's stationary, just like all of our senses tell us. You want to prove to me it's a ball? Show me axial rotation. Show me curvature. You can't. And so there's fights on Facebook and social media, people just defending, and they don't know what they're even talking about. I've never seen anybody take an honest look and come back and go, yeah, the earth is a globe. None of them do. But some people, I don't know what the issue is, egos, or they're not smart enough to, or it's most people don't want to admit that they've been fooled their entire life.
Mhm. So if photos like that have been around forever, I guess why are people only, I guess, pointing it out now or like in the last 10 years? Like why not earlier? Why didn't I guess the flat earth movement really took off because of YouTube, right?
Well,
Do you agree?
well, YouTube definitely helped, but the flat Earth movement's been here forever, right? There's
Hmm.
there's lots of old books, um, that zetetic astronomy and all sorts of stuff. Old books from the
Hmm.
past. The whole globe thing. People say, well, we've known it for 2,000 years, right? Eratosthenes figured it out and everything. The truth is, it wasn't until the late mid 1900s that it fully took over. I interviewed a woman named Ruth, um, 102 years old, and we were talking about the World's Fairs, and she said that she was taught in 1920s that the Earth was flat in public school here in Connecticut.
Hmm.
And then we found people all the way up to the late 50s that were taught flat and globe in public school because they didn't know. But then the whole thing was taken over. The school system was taken over in 1902, actually, by the Rockefellers. And it just took them time to get rid of all of the propaganda, get rid of all of the stuff. There's even lawsuit newspaper articles of teachers being sued for teaching heliocentrism. And the problem is, you know, social media is good and it's bad. People are just lost in social media. They're unable to think things through, right? We're
Hmm.
taught to memorize and regurgitate, and we're taught to argue and hate each other also, right? Systemic racism, that's all made up construct. They don't want us talking to each other. They don't want us cooperating. They want us hating each other, and they want us not thinking, and they want us tied up with distractions. And social media are one of those distractions. But we've actually flipped it and using social media to get the word out, to get people to wake up and snap out of their snap out of their coma, their heliocentric comas.
Mm. So I guess until social media really became a thing, the flat Earth movement was around, right? But it was niche. Would you say
Well,
it was?
in this round of history, if you were a flat earther in 1950, who are you going to tell? You can tell your friends. How's it going to, like, you're
Mm.
in, let's say you're in Australia. Are you going to, is anyone in the United States going to know about your flat earth beliefs? How are you going to do that? The only way to communicate was like in newspapers, like take an
Mhm.
article out in a newspaper. Well, there was tons of articles in newspapers, people talking about flat earth, but the newspapers were all bought up. They were all taken over by, just a couple of people. And so all of our news is controlled now. You know, Facebook, it's all controlled. All of the social media is controlled. Elon Musk is supposed to be our savior. Elon Musk is not our savior, right? Go to my website, flatearthdave.com, scroll down to the Elon Musk banner, and then you'll see that everything that this guy has claimed to done is a fraud. So, he's in charge of Twitter. Zuckerberg, who's Rockefeller's grandson, is in charge of Facebook, and
Mhm.
it's all to control the human race. It's all about control and depopulation right now.
So then why do you think that they still allow people to talk about flat Earth?
Well, they're
Because
slowly getting rid of it. They literally got rid of on YouTube. Has been removing my videos left and right. And they say, "Oh, you violated our services, but we can't tell you which one." And then I appeal, and they're like, "Yep, we confirmed." And literally, like they took out their Owen Benjamin. He's a comedian, and he's been going off on how the Earth is definitely flat, and no swear. Well, the swear words in some of his stuff, but nothing other than talking about flat Earth. That violates their policies now. So they're literally removing the stuff. If they removed everything at once, it would the whole world, everyone would be like, wait, why? What? And everyone would be wondering what's going on with flat Earth. I think it would cause a disaster. So they're trying to just tire everybody out, pull things out one by one, slowly just make it disappear. And that's the way they do it.
so why do you think they promoted it in the first place then?
Well, because they didn't know what was coming. I think the internet, the internet, people say, Bitcoin's bad is created by the CIA. Well, the internet was created by DARPA. It was a military thing, but then it got out to the public on purpose or by mistake or and it's woken a lot of people up so that the YouTube algorithm started pushing flat Earth. I think it snuck up on them. I think that they didn't realize what was happening. Now the algorithm literally tries to stop it, but it's already out. The genie's out of the bottle. You can't unwake somebody up. When you see flat Earth, there's no unseeing it. When I first heard about it, I refused to look because they'd done such a great job brainwashing me. I was a guy with a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking into all crazy stuff, which all turned out to be true, by the way. And I refused to look at flat Earth until I was forced to. And then luckily at that time, YouTube was like, "Oh, you like that? Here, watch this, watch this, watch that." And so now, I've created this app which helps people. It's going to be our social media. There's thousands and thousands of conversations going on in that app at all time. There's calls being made, group calls, meetups happening. I'm putting a whole meetup section in there where people can literally list their meetup, and then everyone in that area will be notified that there's a meetup in that area. So that's going to be the real social media, uncensored, um, reaching everybody that wants to be reached.
Mm. So you mentioned podcasting as well. Do you think that currently that's also a good medium to spread flat Earth information, or
Oh,
do you think there's also censorship there?
well, the censorship's coming. We got kicked off of Apple Podcasts, and the censorship's coming slowly, but podcasts are actually really are pretty good. I mean, you can get away with a lot more on a podcast. I mean, you take any one of our podcasts and put it from Apple to YouTube, it'll get deleted immediately. So yeah, there's less censorship there, and podcasts are taking over. I mean, when's the last time? I'm curious. You're pretty young. When's the last time you watched the mainstream news? Do you watch mainstream news or you listen to podcasts? Yeah,
Um, yeah, no, I don't
yeah,
watch mainstream news.
yeah. Well, thank God because it's all nonsense. But podcasts are the best. I mean, and that way because you have such a huge selection and you can find what you want and resonate with the people that are on the same level as you.
Mm. Um, so with censorship, do you think that's effective, or do you think that that's just drawing more people to these censored topics?
I think it might slow it down a little bit, but my friend Jaron from Jaronism channel, he was trying to convince his neighbor, and his neighbor, a new neighbor, moved into town, and they were talking. I guess he was in his garage, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, "Well, I'm a podcaster." He's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And he's like, "Well, I look into." Jaron was being very careful not to mention flat Earth, and then the guy's interested, and he goes, "Wait a minute, are you a flat earther?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh no, no way." And he goes, "Okay, 30 minutes. Go ahead. I'll listen for 30 minutes." So Jaren's throwing everything out there, proofs and this and that and that and that. And then at the end, the guy's like, "Nope, I'm not buying it." And then he mentions that YouTube is deleting all the flat earth stuff, is censoring it. And the guy goes, "Wait a minute, they're hiding it? Okay, I'm in." So for him, that's what woke him up, the fact that the censorship. And so I always point out the censorship, because I think that is another domino knocked over in your in your point base there.
So I guess it's a double-edged sword. Like it can slow the movement down, but it can also get some people to believe it just because it's being censored.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It's there's too many people that know right now. We're literally about to go super viral, and I think that's maybe a lot of the agendas of the world, that the New World Order, the World Economic Forum, are being accelerated to stop the flat Earth movement. It's just a possibility
Mhm.
because
So do you think,
yeah, good.
yeah,
No, good.
no, you go,
I
you
was
go.
just gonna say
Um,
because if everybody
I was
woke
gonna
up
say,
to flat Earth, they'd be finished. It's over.
so do you ever think there'll come a time when flat Earth becomes mainstream belief?
Yes, I do. 2024.
2024. Why
Yeah,
2024?
because that's the year we're in right now, and I'm going to make it happen.
Okay, great. Also just a bit about pop culture's
Before you
portrayal
before
of
you go there,
flat.
just one more thing. I'm one tweet away from it going mainstream. Right? Do you know the movie that Matt Walsh made called "What Is a Woman"? Did you see that?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk tweeted, "You got to watch What Is a Woman." I think it got 175 million views in like 2 days. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw a video of that.
It's something. It was either 75 million. I think it was 175 million, but either way, we're one tweet
Mm-hmm.
away. Imagine if Justin Bieber, by the way, who is a flat earther, um, said it publicly. If he said, "Hey, go to flatearthdave.com," and he tweeted that, which he doesn't tweet because his handlers tweet for him. But imagine that goes out to 140 million people. Is that I think it's that is that how many followers he has? It's crazy, right?
No idea.
One
But so
tweet away. Go ahead.
you think that if a really powerful like celebrity came out and said they believed in flat Earth, you think that I guess all his followers would then
Well,
be convinced, or do you think that he would be boycotted?
Well, he would be blacklisted. The girl from Stranger Things made a video about flat Earth
Oh
from
yeah.
her car,
Uh,
and then she was stifled, and Shaq came out, and then he was shut up, and some other big basketball players came out. Um, Kelsey Kelsey Grammer.
mhm.
I don't know if he's come out yet, but he may or may not be a full-on flat earther. I'm not the one to say. There's a lot of
Mhm.
people, and we heard at the Emmys. This was a couple years ago. We had so we were in contact with some of the big celebs there, and they said that all of the groups of people circled, they were all talking about flat Earth. So all the celebrities know, but they're keeping their mouths shut, most of them, because they want their paycheck, right? But soon
Mhm.
somebody's going to be fed up. Somebody's going to have enough money tucked away. They're like, okay, they can't hurt me. I can do this. I can get away, whatever. And they're going to do it. They're going to tweet it. They're going to post it. So here's the thing, in 1950, let's say you're famous dancer, singer, whatever, and you want to spread the word on flat Earth. How are you going to do it? You're going to have to, put an ad in the newspaper. They're going to stop you. But I can tweet right now why we're talking, and it goes worldwide. Everyone with an internet connection can have it in a split second. So it is dangerously close for the elite that this information is about to get out. And just the right person has to do it that'll make people look, right? Who am I? Like if Dave Weiss says, here's this fight. Oh, that crazy guy. I saw his thing with Professor Dave. What an idiot, right? That's a weak-minded person because they haven't really looked. But social media is going to be, I said it's good and bad. It's bad because people just lost in there doing stupid crap on there. But it's also good because it's instantaneous and it's worldwide.
Mhm. So, you think the main reason that I guess more and more people are coming to Flat Earth is because of social media?
Well, that's the best way to spread it. Other than, we do in-person stuff. We have conferences, but we use social media to spread the word. Um,
Hmm.
we uh we go out, we have people that go to farmers markets and set up booths and they talk to people there. So is that social media? That's IRL social media, right?
So do you think social media in itself is enough, or do you think that has to be social media plus in-person stuff? Or
Well, it's everything because there's some people that you can reach on social media, other people you can reach at the farmers market, other people you can reach at a conference. Um, other people, the just walking down the street, standing in line somewhere, sitting on the bus, right? So many stories of people just having conversations like, they were taking a ride somewhere and they're talking to somebody. There's pilots. There's so many commercial pilots that are flat earthers now, that they're on like 15-hour flight to New Zealand. They got a co-pilot who's not a flat earther. They got 15 hours to talk to the person because the plane flies itself, right? They just take off and
Mhm.
land. And so these pilots are waking up the other pilots, right? Some people are just not meant to wake up. They're so deep in the matrix. I call them a NPC, a non-player character. And there's other
Mhm.
people that wake up like that. They wake up as soon as you see it. Like what made me wake up? What was it? Why am I somebody that can wake up and then there's other people that just can't? Am I smarter? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not a dummy. And I've
Mhm.
been looking into this for a long time. So yeah, I mean it's a combination of everything. I'm going on some big podcasts and that gets out to people and then they put it on their social media and then they tell their friends and they get the app and they share the app. A lot of people on Twitter are mentioning the app and a lot of people are signing up. When anyone signs up on the app, that is a flat earther for life because nobody becomes a flat earther and goes back. The trolls on social media, they'll go out there and they're like, oh, I used to be a flat earther, but then I saw this. Nobody used to be a flat earther and goes back to the ball. They're just lying, right? You have to lie to be a globe earther. That's what's sad. And that's why my job is easy. I just tell the truth. I just show visible, touchable, tangible, testable, repeatable reality. And the Globers have to just make up crazy, crazy explanations, and they expose themselves on social media.
Mm. Also, are you on Facebook?
I am. The Flat Earth
Are you?
Podcast. The Flat Earth Podcast is my
Oh,
is my Flat Earth site. And then David Weiss. I'm on Facebook.
because I joined actually recently joined a lot of flat Earth groups just to see
You have to
what
be
it was like
careful.
on
There's
Facebook.
so many fake flat earth groups out there, like Flat Earth Official or something like that. It's not. It's run by the opposition, and they put stupid
Mhm.
stuff in there, right? It's like the Flat Earth Society. That used to be the social media. Hey, Flat Earth. Oh, check out the Flat Earth Society, and then everything would push you to the Flat Earth Society. Obama, in 3 or 4 of his speeches, mentioned the Flat Earth Society. Okay.
Mm.
That's because they want you to go there because the Flat Earth Society has a tiny bit of truth in it and a bunch of nonsense. And if you go there and pay attention for any period of time, you'd be like, Flat Earth is the dumbest thing ever. I'm out of here. And that's the whole idea. That's called controlled opposition, right? But now these Facebook groups have taken over, and we had some really great Facebook groups. There are still some really good ones. A lot of them have gone private because so many trolls infiltrate. There's so many bots out there, and then some of the biggest groups are controlled opposition groups. They have you in there. They're picking fights, and they're putting out false flat Earth information, hoping that you'll run with it so somebody can expose you as being an idiot. And it happens all the time.
Mm. I think the ones that I joined are pretty legit. But
Okay.
no, I just
Well,
noticed that
you just
there's a
watch.
lot of there's a lot of discussion and but no, I have seen the trolls as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So do you think Facebook is also a good platform at the moment for the movement or
Well, good and bad. I mean, the censorship on Facebook is unheard of. It's literally, out of it's 1984, George Orwell at this point. But, you can't mention anything that's real on Facebook without being completely censored. I don't know if you're aware of that. Um,
oh,
but we'll just stick with
maybe.
flat Earth rather than get into other stuff that won't even let me put this on YouTube. But Facebook's good for flat Earth because they'll let you post it, but they won't promote it. They won't push it. So you have to find a way, you have to go out and, get there and get your posts noticed and have other people share it, but they definitely hide it. They definitely hide it. Like I could put a thing about a puppy or a capybara and it'll go super viral, right? But then I do something amazing about how the eclipse happens with whatever is blocking it behind the sun and not in front of the sun. It'll be hidden,
Mm, okay.
but it's still
Final
useful.
question.
Still useful.
Final question.
Okay.
Well, you said that you think the movement will go become mainstream at the
I
end of the year.
I think
So,
this year something's going to happen if the whole world doesn't flip upside down and the power doesn't go out.
mhm. So what do you think next year will be like then?
I think that when flat Earth goes mainstream, when it just goes out of control, um, I think there's going to be upheaval. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are very, very upset. I think there's going to be a completely paradigm shift in the world, and the world's going to split into two. The people that refuse to see the truth, and they're going to go live in their 15-minute cities, like the World Economic Forum wants. And then there's going to be those people that are holding to their truth that are going to band together and they're going to have smaller communities and they're going to operate, independently of the government. And the government, govern means control, meant is the mind. They're literally here to control your mind. Who is government? Who is the World Economic Forum? They're not even elected, and they're running the world. These corporations are running the world, right? And social media has helped us get that information out there. For me, this whole thing started with what is money? Wait, what is money? Why does money have value? And then when I found the truth, I'm like, oh my God, this is the dumbest thing ever. It's just a faith, it's just a belief system, and it's controlled by private bankers. So
Mhm.
once you see that, then you can start disconnecting from the system. So, my message out there that I say on all social media is if you play on their game board with their fake money, you got to play by their rules.
Mm, okay. I think that's all I had for you today.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Any of your friends have any questions or they're not going to say anything?
I don't know. Alan? I guess not. I guess they're not going to say anything.
All right, that's cool.
Okay.
Thanks. Good to talk to you.
Thank you. Good to talk to you too.
All right, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.